Assalamualaikum, salam sejahtera, salam UTM Sarjana Bahasa. I am Elisa Amira binti Afani, your moderator for today's program. All praise and thanks to God, the Almighty, who has granted countless blessings and opportunities for us to gather via online for today's program, Mental Health Talk. It is a big deal. To bless our program today, I would like to call upon Amri Maulana to lead us with Doa recitation. To our non-Muslim friends, you are welcome to pray according to your own belief.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bilbarakatil Fatihah. A'udzu billahi minasyaitonir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Arrahmanir rahim. Maliki yaumiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amin. قال ربكم ادعوني أستجب لكم أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, sesungguhnya kami berhimpun pada hari ini bagi menyatakan kesyukuran di atas kurnia-Mu yang tidak ternilai. Jadikanlah kami hamba-hamba-Mu yang sentiasa bersyukur sama ada nikmat yang sedikit, lebih-lebih lagi nikmat yang melimpah ruah kepada kami. Ya Allah, Ya Karim, Ya Wadud, Engkau berkatilah dan rahmatilah perjalanan program pada hari ini. Sesungguhnya Engkau Maha mengetahui bahawa kami di sini ingin menimba ilmu-Mu yang sangat luas bagi mengembangkan ilmu pengetahuan kami sebagai hamba-Mu yang Engkau redai. Justru berkati dan rahmatilah perhimpunan kami ini, kurniakanlah kepada kami ilmu-Mu, sinarilah hati-hati kami dengan cahaya dan hidayah-Mu. Semoga dengannya kami mudah menerima dan menghayati serta mengamalkannya. Ya Zal Jalali wal Ikram. Kurniakanlah juga kepada kami kesihatan anggota, kecergasan minda, ketenangan jiwa, kekuatan semangat. Semoga dengannya kami mampu mendepani cabaran, berdaya saing dan mampu mengangkat martabat diri, keluarga, masyarakat dan negara. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina azabannar. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Wa salamun ala al-mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Taqabbalallahu minkum.
Thank you, Amir Maulana, for Doa recitation. First and foremost, I would like to present our greatest gratitude to everyone for allocating their time to join our program today. Before the program begins, allow me to give you a brief introduction for today's programs. The purpose of these programs is to raise awareness about the importance of maintaining one's mental health. Do you guys know there will be various sharing sessions after this? So stay tuned, okay? Right now, let me introduce our speaker for today's program, Dr. Zulfikar. Dr. Zulfikar is a director of UTM Counseling Center, Johor Bahru. Students who always visit UTM Counseling Center must know Dr. Zulfikar, right? If you guys have any question for our speaker, feel free to leave your questions in the chat box throughout the programs. Oh, then also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, give a thumbs up, and share with your friends to join us right now. I'm sure that our viewers are excited and cannot wait anymore to hear interesting topics for our programs today. Now, without further ado, let's start our program with the first slot, which is academic pressure. Welcome, Dr. Zulfikar.
Welcome.
So, Doctor, what shall we discuss today and what shall we talk about on academic pressure?
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. أما بعد. Thank you, Mira, and obviously to the organizer, the QS-Bina UTM, for inviting me this morning. Okay, I'm very sorry about my voice. Okay, as much as I can to deliver the best, for these sharing sessions with the audiences. It's a good topic, it's a well-established, highlighted topic especially throughout these 2.5 years narrations about the mental health issues. And obviously, thank you so much for bridging us, the counseling center and the audiences, in giving some awareness, giving some input, and obviously to give some highlighted issues that need to be known, you know, because it hits everyone. As long as you are a human being, a normal human being, this is one of the issues that hits everyone, regardless of your age. Okay, regardless of your status, this issue is actually foreseen even before the pandemic itself. Okay, the issue of mental health. And I believe today we're going to talk specifically what hits our students, what hit them the most. Well, that's why I welcome if you do have any questions. We're going to talk about academic pressure. Okay, I would put it the topic into whether it's a myth or is it a reality. You know, why did I say so? Because when we say about problems, when we say about situations, Mira, most of the time we assume or we perceive that we are in that situation. Okay, that what leads us to believe whether we are really into that conditions or not. Okay, so the tricky part of this situation is actually, is it our mind that tell us what happened, or do our behavior react to what is happening? You know, it's like mind and body are probably not connecting, because when we talk about mental health situation, the mind, the spiritual part, I would say the three elements. There is mind, body, and soul. And when it is confirmed by these three, in the form of they are tally, and it is consistent, the way they reacted, your mind, your body, and soul are reacting to it, then you have the high probability that you are in that kind of situation. Okay? It's just like when you think that you fall in love with someone. Your mind say that you fall in love, but your action doesn't show. And your spiritual part of you doesn't connect. So that is why in any belief system, in religion, when you're performing any of your act, you know, the three elements must come together. As for Muslim, these three elements actually connects. Then you are in a state of tranquility, peace of mind. So the topic today, academic pressure, is it real or is it a myth? What do you think, Nisha, as a student? I'm returning back the questions.
As a student, it's real for me.
Okay. Well, statistically, what we have in counseling center, it is shown that it is real. Okay. But for those who came out to reach for an assistance from us, now these are the groups that we can assist. But do you know out there, when you talk about mental states issues, most of them keep to themselves by saying that no one understand me. Who will believe on me? Especially our university students. It's shown in their results, their score. But can we use the performance, as a strong indicators saying that these students did not have problems? They don't face problems? Yes, we do. That's why we really encourage students, to step out to reach us. Because when we talk about mental illness, it is silence and it is real. So do academic pressures.
Sorry, doctor. Sorry for interrupting. But then, like,
Yeah.
for me, I'm a second year student, and as you know, like, for the first year, for the first semester, I'm online because of due to the pandemic. So when you say struggle and momentum, that kind of thing is actually true because it's hard for us because we are transitioning from foundation and matrix to degree, and it's hard to reach out even though seniors and lecturer already give a guidance. So from that, I think students right now who are transitioning from online to physical, hard for them to adjusting and adapting and cope. You see?
Yeah.
I
Well,
think why? The question is like why for us feeling that hard to do so.
oh, I like that the part, Amira, when you stated the
Mm-hmm.
why question.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you state, as a normal human being, when you have stated the question of why, regardless of any issues, that puts you in mind that you are aware about the situation. That is the definition of mental health for layman. Okay? Because mental health is been defined, layman's, in a state where you are conscious about your surrounding. Okay? That's why people need to understand between the terms mental health and mental illness. Okay? So mental health is a state where someone can really actually come up with a decision, can what call it? Can do a decision, you know. So the ability to do a decision, to come up with decision, that is a mental health. That's why we always say that mental health conditions, whether they are good or not, okay, provided they are not being under influence of what call it, any substance, or by not influenced by any pain. Okay, so yes, taking into account that the second year students, the first year students, they undergo the difficulties, you know. But well, no one expect that COVID will hit, and when things happen, when COVID happens, not only students, like I mentioned earlier, it hits everyone, and nobody is ready for this one. Okay, life is about going through three main phases in life that go over and over again in our routine, in our life routine. Okay, and these three phases, what we call as adjustment, coping, and eventually we adapt. Okay, now if you could remember back when you were in your first day in school, in standard one, was it difficult?
Yes,
How long does it take for you to actually adapt yourself?
not much. I think few days
Few days?
because we're still kids.
Yeah. Probably you
Mm,
went to Montessori or probably you went to kindergarten.
mm,
Okay. But for those who never been through that early stage before, the kindergarten stage, okay, you went to school, you don't know anyone, your parents left you behind, you know, is everything, so alien to you, everything is so strange to you. For some people, for some students, it may take them like a few weeks, a few days, a few weeks, a few months.
mm,
Okay, so you went to standard two. Well, you're adapted. Finally, next to it is you went to secondary school. Nobody actually prepared themselves to start all over again. But for those who really admit that in life, they're going to be most of the time, and in our life, we always go through a new set of environments, experience. But the question now is, are you willing to put some preparations to go through that, setting? Like obviously, when you were in Form 5, okay, seems that you are second year, you would consider like, okay, I'm going through university life, you foreseen yourself on the orientation day, the first day, blah, blah, blah. Does it happen? No, it doesn't happen that way. you know. So your what do you call it? Your expectations during that times deceive you with what was happening during that time. Okay, and you join in when you're in the second year, as if like, why am I in second years and I'm newly joined the university, recently experiencing the university life, and newly you know that, oh, next year I'll be going for my intern, and then I graduate. Macam, you don't, I tak puas lah. You
Doesn't
know,
feel enjoy. It's
I,
all
I, I didn't
like
enjoy these things. You know, previously people say that, oh, being in campus life is very enjoyable. Is an experience of a lifetime. That's the best moment in life, but you don't experience that one. Okay, so for some people they cannot compute this kind of situations. So one big word that I mentioned earlier, it was like expectation. Okay, so expectation deceive us most of the time. In what way they deceive us? How you look at expectations. Now that is what we call in academic pressures. When you try to define your commitments towards time and energy, you know, let's just put aside for the time being, you know, peers pressures, parents pressures. Like look at, you know, yourself first. At the first place, you've been deceived by your own expectation. And people, I mean humans, naturally, when they try to comfort themselves, one of the elements that they use is actually denying, compromising, okay, bargaining, you know. Oh, this can't happen to me, you know. After all, I had all these struggles, I had all these efforts. This can't be true. So would you blame yourself? Most of the time, no. You will blame your surrounding. And what would be the nearest factors that you will be blamed? Your parents, your friends, your lecturers, your assignments. But deep inside in every one of us, it's actually like, well, actually, I'm the one that contributes to it. Because going through the process when you were in standard one, in your primary school, in your secondary school, now it's your tertiary levels. Does it make sense? Yes. You never been to boarding school. And there you were when you were in your form one. Your parents sent you there. And you had this rebellious thing inside you. Why should I go for boarding school? There's a missing that is my parents try to chase me away from home. So that's why they send me to the boarding school. No. And this is what is actually happens in humans' development phases of life. When you are teenage, you're looking for answers. Now, Mira, you are actually in a stage of pre-adulthood. A lot of questions. But once you started with the question of why, that push you to find answers. Why can't I score? I used to score this subject. I used to score. I used to, um, you know how to study back in SPM. But what happens now? So it's how you immerse yourself in your surrounding. Adaptations, that's the thing. So before you come to adaptation, how well you are in adjusting yourself. That is why acceptance is crucial when it comes to adjustment. There is a fine tuning. We can't expect everyone to go for a smooth ride, something new in life. No, you can't. And even Amira, if you like, do you read novels, Amira?
No, actually.
Okay. Do you watch movies?
Yes.
So after each, uh, uh, should I say, slots in every movie, you're expecting what comes next, right?
Chapter, yeah. Yes.
Okay, if you read novels, you're expecting what would be the next chapters, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it all started with the first chapter, right?
Mm.
If the first chapter interests you, so you're looking forward for the next chapter, right?
Yes.
So if the first chapter or the previous chapter doesn't interest you at all, would you continue would you continue reading? Most likely.
Maybe yes, maybe no. Yeah.
And that is what actually, because our life, when I say development stages, phases in life, it's just like another chapter in our life.
Mm.
Okay? So as a student, when you try to hook your readers, you will start something with an interesting fact, an interesting point. You get people hooked to it. So that's how you actually deal with yourself. But most
Mm.
people, they put academic pressures as like, oh, once I get into university, I want to score. I don't want to be like, given a second chance. You know, my SPM wasn't that good, so I'm given a second chance. I want to push myself, blah, blah. Who started the pressure?
The first one is ourself, myself.
Or I always put this thing, okay? Your best friend and your worst enemy is yourself.
Hmm.
Agree?
Agree.
So if you were to talk about academic pressures, those pressures are meant to be for you to experience it.
Mm-hmm.
You know why? Because pressure is accumulate. Like is if I were to put um, pressures in life is just like a survival things that you need in order for you to carry on with your life. Let's take for example, what makes you find food? What makes you eat, Amira?
Hungry. You need
Eh,
energy, so you need food.
Okay, how do you know you're hungry?
Perut berbunyi.
Perut bunyi, your stomach start to grumble,
Yes.
and you respond to it, right?
Yep.
And what happens if you don't respond to that grumbling sound of your stomach?
Lethargic, don't have any energy, sleepy.
So you're jeopardizing yourself, right?
Mm.
And you know that you can avoid all these things at the first place when your stomach started to grumble. Now, another question that I would like to ask, Amira,
Mm-hmm.
okay? Do everyone face or experience the same thing when they are hungry? For you, your stomach starts to grumble,
Mm.
okay? Does everyone experience the same thing when they're hungry? The stomach start grumble.
No.
No. Some people may experience tremor, gigil.
Hmm.
Some people might experience like macam, walk like a zombie, right?
Wobbly. Mm-hmm.
Bubbly things, right? And start gloomy. Some people affected, the hunger affected their emotions.
Mm.
So means that everyone experiencing differently.
Mm.
And that is what we call as the motivations. Your stomach grumble, that is a form of motivation. And not everyone is having the same level of motivation.
Mm.
But obviously, what we know is how people react to it. They find foods. And most of the time, we jeopardize ourselves
Mm.
by not responding well to it. Okay? So, still, would you blame others because of the pressure?
Mm.
No. Now, did you took physics, Mira?
Yes.
Yes.
Not now, but then previously in high school.
Okay. Obviously, you know this, right? Have you heard this what do you call it? This formula F equals to ma.
Forced, yes. F equals to MA.
Define that equation, that formula.
Force equals to mass is I forgot what is E.
A is acceleration.
Acceleration. Yes, acceleration.
Okay. Do you believe that if I were to convert F into stress,
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because non-living things, that formula applies to the non-living thing. Whereby, for a human being or living being, the F force is actually stress. Because non-living things need another force to move. The MA, mass, and accelerations, convert it into life. Where do academic pressure stand? The mass or the acceleration?
Mass.
The mass. Okay? If you don't go, if there is no final exam, would you study?
No, not that hard.
Okay? So as the what call it, as the final exam is just around the corner, what would be your momentum in study?
Much more higher.
Much more higher, and that's
Mm.
equivalent to acceleration.
Mm.
But let me just ask students, you know this formula, but do you apply this formula to your life? Okay. Okay, what I've explained was actually is introductory to talk about what is actually academic pressure. Why it feels like what 15 minutes to go for the introductory, because I want the audience to really understand where do these academic pressures that we are talking today came from. Like you eat, when you eat, have you ever thought how the rice was there, how the fish end up on your plates? Because most of the time we take things into granted. Okay, we blame our parents, we blame our friends, we blame our lecturers, we even blame the courses, and sometimes we blame the bus drivers. Datang lambat, kelas pukul 8, your class starts at 8, and then you waited there, the bus schedule is at 7:30, and you be there 7:35, and then you blame the bus driver, right? We are making points as if like we are not blaming ourselves. Okay, now to add up to the spice that we are talking today, for your information, I started my degree, my first year, first sem degree, with 2.24 CGPA. I failed my introduction psychology. I end up being a psychologist. Venture into the process, because in life you can't expect a smooth ride. When you sail your boat, in the middle of sea, would you expect a smooth sail? Have you ever been in flight, Amira?
Yes.
How was the journey?
If it's like short, I would definitely enjoy it. But then if it's too long, like 6 up to 6 hours, I'll be definitely tired.
Okay. So the furthest that you've been in flight?
For this, I think Australia.
Australia. It took like about what? 4 hours, 5 hours travel?
I I think so.
Okay. Do you experience any turbulence?
Yes. Mm.
But you feel safe inside there, right?
Yeah.
That's about life journey. When you have a cocoon that you are in, you feel safe. And that is the university.
Mm-hmm.
And inside the university, you're in the faculty. Within the faculty, you're under the department. Under the department, you are in a class.
Mm-hmm.
You see how many safety measures that you have. That's why At the first place, when I say is that people who are having troubles, they are having difficulty to reach out for an assistance. That's the journey of life. Okay? Because you are always being protected. What people expect from you is for you to grow. Okay? And in the process, there always be a trouble and how you look into the solution in each problem.
Doctor,
Yeah.
for I can conclude that you say that in life, this process, there's ups and downs, there's failure and stuff. But then, like, if for me, that I'm okay if like in one day, like I'm at the one point of life, I'm at lowest point in my life. But then, for example, we take back academic lah. If I maybe I get C, almost fail in some sort of this, or like my GPA is not what I expected. For me, I okay. But then, like, what about like my surrounding, my expectation surrounding that pressured me to feel, like just because like I'm okay with it. But then when people say like, so that makes me feel more smaller, more down. How I want
Okay.
to.
The enemy of mind is your emotion. The best friend of your mind is your emotion. Okay? The enemy of mind is your emotion. The best friend of mind is your emotion. As much as I mentioned earlier, that our best friend and our worst enemy is ourselves. Because at the end of the day, you have no one around you except for yourself. But the way you perceive yourself, how much do you understand yourself? Amira, whether it's a good experience or bad experience, those experiences make the better you. Can you expect life is all about success?
No.
No. When you want to define success, success means the moment you stand up, the moment you manage to pull yourself out of misery, sorrow. That is success. Okay? Bila you keluar daripada kegagalan, bila you bangkit daripada kegagalan, that is success. If you scored A throughout your life, and then you say, oh, I'm a success person, you are not being fair to yourself. Because you have nothing to, you have nothing to compare with. Right? If I were to say, Amira, are you a better person now?
No. But then
Why?
I am better person than yesterday.
That's the thing. You're not comparing yourself with others. If you started to compare yourself with others, you put another. This is where we call it as the academic, the peer pressure things. When you study, you're not studying for other people, you're studying for yourself. You are not competing. There is no competition in study. What does competition mean? If someone get 4 flat, you have no chances to get 4 flat. Is it true?
No.
No. Everybody have equal chance to score. But why do people say that, oh, I want to compete with this guy, I want to compete with this guy? But then we are being bombarded in the system itself since we are like what? Standard 1, kindergarten? Oh, nombor 1, nombor 2, nombor 3, nombor 4 in class. At early stage, we've been pressured ourselves. Parents pressured ourselves. That is why, in today's world, if I were to ask students, what does A means to you? You scored A. Most of the time, students don't know what to answer. Itu biasa-biasa je. Because you don't feel the A. Because that A meant for someone else. Probably your parents. Probably the society. But you did not feel the meaning of that A. Now that you can consider it as an indicator that you don't find satisfaction in your success. It's not even a success. But what if you went through a dark stage of life when you were in teenagers? Now you become someone. Trust me, when you recall the situation, when you recall that experiences, you're going to shed tears, or what we call you akan rasa sayu. Dan that kesayuan tu is actually kebanggaan. Amira, I was a failed student. Frankly speaking, I was a failed student. Even I was laughed by some of my friends when I did my PhD. I did my PhD for 8 years and I almost quit back in 2016. And during that time, I was like, yeah, I confirm that those people are right. Failures can't, failure wouldn't be able to. My wife can't even say anything. My father can't say anything when I decided to quit. But my supervisor during that time, he did not question me. Why? And he assisted me alter a bit of your methodology. A small alteration brought me finally completed my PhD. That's the journey. I graduated my degree with 2.555. I went for my master with only 2.5. With that 2.555, I went to master, in which it requires a minimum 2.75. I find ways to do that. Newly, I know when you are in master, you need to consistently 3 pointers above. I was like, huh? Well, I just went through life. I had a kids during that time. So if you see that pressures is pressures, yeah, correct. That was the equations of F equal to MA. Because we need pressures in order for us to survive. Okay? And most of it, learn to listen to your body. Your body, this is the beauty of our body. We've been created with two systems in which, for me, this is the most precious system that God gave us in our body. One is the alarm system. Secondly is a flushing system. That's why you experience hunger. That push you to find food, that push you to eat. You start to yawn, menguap. Your body is signaling you to menguap. It's time to sleep. Respond to it. That is the first thing, alarm. Secondly, is the flushing system. What happens when you drink too much of water, Mira?
Your stomach will bloated because too much water, and then you need to pee.
Okay, you need to pee, right? The
Mm-hmm.
pee itself is the flushing system. When you experience overwhelm of sadness, what happens?
You cry,
You cry.
outburst.
What happens when you drink too much of water and you don't even pee? When you are overwhelmed with your sadness, you don't cry. What happens?
It all bottle up.
It all bottled up. It blotted inside you and it's blown.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we call as a burnout. In stress, burnout stage is the final one. It's a time bomb. And God created us with these two systems in which is supposed to make us bersyukur. Have you experienced the time when you wanted to cry, but you can't actually cry? You wanted to
Yeah.
cry, but you need to hold yourself from crying. Feel inside. The pain is inside. What's wrong of crying?
There's nothing wrong with crying.
There's nothing wrong with crying, but the way we treated ourselves, should I cry in front of people?
No.
I can even make you cry right now, Amira. I can make you
Actually, yes,
recall.
a bit.
You know why? When I mention this thing, it makes you recall few of incident in your life. The things that you keep inside yourself and you are not sharing it. So that's why the university system, we have penasihat academic advisors.
Mm-hmm.
We have counseling centers. We have officers. Okay? You have your seniors. You have your college principals. You got your fellows. You got assistant fellows. That's why I mentioned just now, when you are inside the flight, you feel safe. Despite of having all the turbulence, you feel safe because you are in a cocoon. Remember when you were in your mother's womb. Now we are responsible to create and to find that cocoon. And we are responsible to find ways to comfort ourselves. But what actually happened when it comes to pressures, people are looking for support. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, the support that they're looking for betrayed them. And this where everyone should be, should be able to understand this thing. If you can't find support, create your own support. Okay? Social medias are not meant for you to pour out all your emotion. No. In any religions, in any belief systems, when you are being burdened by your emotions, talk to your God. And for Muslims, we have been given a script. Okay? That's why in our Quran stated very clearly, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, La yukallifullahu nafsan illa usaha. I will not burden you more than what you can stand. With the situations that you can, you're a student. Obviously, you'll be burdened with the problems as a student. But what if you try to think about financial in which that is not supposed to be your forte in thinking? I've seen cases where students, they studied at the same time they need to look for money for their parents, for their family. And to assist this in student affairs, and in our masjid, and for the university, we have endowments to assist students. For those who are not having all the gadgets, we provide gadgets. Because why? Because we want you to play your role. Okay? Be a student. Your role is to study and leave this university with your own planned futures. We don't want more than that. But what we require from you guys is your motivations to study. That's it. That's the utmost reason why parents send you to study. Despite saying that, oh, I can't take it anymore lah. Letih lah belajar ni, blah, 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 blah thing. That's why I say, you study because of yourself. You're not studying because of others. Okay? But if you started to think that, oh, I study because of my parents, I study because of this, I study because of this, you are actually add up the pressures to yourself. We only requires you these two things, time and energy as a student. The means for you to study, kalau benda tak cukup, let us know, we provide for you. Because that part is for us to think about, not for you. Do we ask money from you guys as a student? No. We only ask your commitment. Be a student. Live life as a student. Not more than that. That's why we prepared all the platform for you guys. Eh? To enhance your potential, to unleash your potential. But the bottom line here is whether it's a good memories, whether it's a good experience or a bad experience or a bad memories, eventually that makes you a better person. It's not about making yourself better persons for others. No, at least be the best versions of yourself from yesterday. Because everyone deserves a second chance. And that second chance is always out there. It's going back to you. Pick what you left. Okay? I always consider myself, I was given a second chance. I wasn't that good in my SPM. A few days ago, when the SPM result was released, was announced, and my niece, when her trials, she wasn't that good in trials. She was devastated, frustrated, okay, and all that burdens, everything. I spent a moment with her. The so-called intervention is so-called the uncle and the niece talk. And she managed, and add up to it, during the SPM, she was positive COVID, and the paper need to be delayed and postponed. And she emerged as 8A students. And when the result was released, I had an event with Yang Berbahagia Datuk NC and Yang Berbahagia TNC HEP. As a form of reward, I get a clip, a wish. I requested a wish, asked for a wish from Datuk NC and Prof NC to give a wish, congratulated her. Because I told her, okay, if you start pressuring yourself while others are not pressuring you, it's a burden. If you're not enjoying yourself in an academic world, in an academic line, you won't be able to succeed. I'm talking from experiences. Okay. So that is why, Amira, despite of our fellow students, our fellow audiences today, they keep on saying that the COVID, the process itself, the experience of having online classes, I am not able to meet face to face with my lecturers. I miss the chapters of my lab, blah, blah, things. That is just what really happens in life. We need to adjust and we learn in coping and eventually we adapt to it. Okay. Another reason why I went for my PhD was actually during my degree convocations, my parents are unable to attend because the day itself is majlis, our ceremony dekat KL. We got married a week before convocation. On the convocation itself is the reception ceremony. So okay, never mind. I want to go for my master so that my parents can attend. It's such a ridiculous thing, right? Oh, going for it because you just yes. So my parents were there during the master, the convocation. I told myself, well, I'm not a student, but I want to prove something because my parents wanted to have one of their child actually succeed in academics. So I took up that challenge. Okay, unfortunately, I lost my mom on my second sem of my PhD. A year after that, I lost my father-in-law, in which throughout the process, me and my wife, we admit to our PhD program together, and Alhamdulillah, we went for the convocations together. What motivates you to study? What motivates you to succeed? It's none of other people's business. It's your business. Ask yourself, if these pressures, if these such pressures, academic pressures, makes you stronger, then you become a better person. But when these academic pressures you consider in life as a pressuring things that you can't bear to hold with, then there is your problem. Try to look for a solution in every problem, not looking for a problem in any solution. Are you stunned, Amira? Speechless?
A bit stunned, but then yes. But then doctor, like you can conclude like for academic pressure, like it's all start with ourselves. What do we expect, and then it comes with our surrounding, right? So I have like this question from our student. What about procrastination? Because
Okay,
like
good question.
mm,
Procrastinations and last minute study. Shall I conclude those two?
yes, please.
Okay, Amira. The moment you try to change yourself, becoming a new person, in which you are not ready to do so, that's the beginning of problem. Now, what wrong being yourself? If all this while being procrastinates leads you to this kind of success, should you change or should you adjust to it?
Adjust to it.
There you got the answer. If you're a last minute student and all of a sudden you wanted to become okay, I'm now in university level, I should not, I will no longer do things last minute. But still happens, you become a last minute student and you don't like this situation because you say, I wanted to change, I wanted to change. What's wrong with it? What's wrong with it? If that makes you, if that is your style, should you change?
No.
But you need to adjust to it. Life is not about transforming everything in a drastic way. Okay? It's not wrong, Iza, to procrastinate as long as you know how to deal with it. Now let me give you another example. Being a student, your lecturer give you the assignments earlier semester, right? And you are required to submit like in week 13 or week 12. And then you started to do things on that 13 weeks. You buat apa sepanjang that 10th week? But if you say that, oh, I need some pressure, I need to experience stress for me untuk, to apa kata, untuk lebih proaktif. Proaktif lah, lebih untuk produktif.
Leave.
This is what most people write in their resume, can work under pressure. And then when you start working, people give pressure, tak boleh terima pula. But you need to be so selective. What things should you procrastinate? You can't procrastinate everything. You can't do all things last minute. But knowing Malaysian, if the government says, okay, tarikh akhir adalah tahun ini, what do you think? Are you the one? Are you the only one in Malaysia that practice this last minute thing or procrastinating thing? When you wanted to procrastinate, learn this one skill. What is the skills? The skills of prioritizing things in life. Because something you might be procrastinate but not on the other things. Let's say lah, okay, you want to pee, nak kencing. You nak procrastinate tak agak-agak? You lapar, you nak procrastinate tak?
No.
Remember earlier I talked about motivation? Okay? If your motive for that SEM to earn a good grade, a good score, a mark, will you procrastinate?
No.
If last semester you failed, would you procrastinate this semester?
No.
Then, that's why I say, nothing wrong with procrastinate. But you need to adjust to it. You need to be selective. Learn how to prioritize. Ini kalau pukul rata semua, and then at the end of the semester or when you got the result, oh, I shouldn't be doing this thing. And then, next semester you buat balik. Well, that is just the nature of human being. We are forever forgetful. And we need someone to come and remind us. So the word change, what does a change mean? Change, when you admit there is something need to be changed, then it can change. Tapi kalau you rasa, oh, I don't need to change this thing. By all means, if you push yourself to change, nothing will happen. Worse, it become worse. Worst case scenario. So ask yourself back, should I change the way I study? Should I change the way I behave? Should I change it? Adapt. In order for you to adapt, you must be able to adjust. Does the university setting change who you are, or do you change yourself to the university setting? Which one?
The second one.
Both are relevant. It depends on you. Nobody knows who you are except yourself. Okay? People can say things, but at the end of the day, you are the one whether to admit or to reject these words to you. Tapi kalau orang tegur, in life is about welcoming criticism. That is how you grow. Tapi kalau baru kena tegur dah koyak, dah terasa kena sidai, dah sentak, you won't be able to grow. Accept criticism. I know criticism is another pressuring element for students. But what's wrong with criticism? University level, university world is actually your training ground to prepare you the reality of life out there when you start working. Taking into account, you've been given an assignment, task, and you have a deadline at the end of the semesters. When you work, you receive an assignment, you receive a task in which probably tomorrow you need to submit. If you can't cope with these pressures, how would you consider yourself in the working world? Your rewards now is your grade. When you work, your reward is actually your salary, your promotions. Does it equivalent? Yes. So there are things in life that you need to procrastinate. Well, not need. Can't use the word need. That you need to tolerate to procrastinate. That sounds better, right? You
And
need to tolerate.
prioritizing.
Yes, and prioritize. You know, do not let anyone decide for you because you run your own life. But at the same time, you need someone to guide you,
Okay.
to assist you. Because eventually, one day, you'll be guides others. And probably that is your kids, or your student, or your staff. Accept to be lead in order for you to lead. Quote of the day. Okay? Thank you for the question. Procrastination and last minute.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Zulfikar, for the interesting and exciting sharings on academic pressure. With that, we ended our first slot, actually. So, shall we move on to the second slot for today's mental health talk, which is entitled Am I Average? I know many are looking forward to this slot because it is very closely related to us in our daily life. So, sit back and relax. So, Doctor, shall we start
Yeah,
for
sure.
Am I Average?
Can we have like 2-3 minutes break? I need to
Yes, of
pee
course.
because
Yes.
my body had alarmed me, so I need to
All
listen to
right,
the music.
Doctor. It's
Okay,
true.
see you guys in another 2-3 minutes.
All right. Welcome, Doctor. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
So, Doctor, are you ready?
Yeah, ready when you are.
Okay, Doctor can just straight away start because I already have lifted just now.
Okay. Another interesting topic, you know, for sharing, you know. Now, average. What does average mean? Does
Not
average mean moderate?
what?
Put it this way, everyone wants to become excellence in what they're doing, right? Okay. Everyone wants to become the best. But remember just now I did mention about to whom would you show these best things of yours? The best side of you. To whom? Now, I remembered the former mantan pengarah kampus UTM KL, Professor Dr. Hamdani, arwah. And early, when he started to know me, he told me, Zul, you are actually a person that what I would consider you as a jack of all trades, master of none. Okay? It took me some time to understand it. And when I understood, I really feel glad and happy. You know what does jack of all trades, master of none mean? Jack of all trades, master of none. You are an average person. You know, you are not mastering of anything. If you play badminton, you play badminton as if and main petang-petang. You know, you did not go for the national level, university level, blah 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 things. You know, that was my starting point to make me realize, yeah, I know almost everything, but I didn't master in anything. So I realized that is the starting point in which I need to focus on something to establish myself in. If I were to ask you, Amira, what are you best in?
I can answer that question because I also don't know.
That is why it brought us into one, if not for everyone, for myself. I started to think myself, I need to establish myself. And what people use the term branding. Okay? Now, as a TikTok generation, allow me to use that term.
See that
As a
there.
TikTok, as a TikTok generation, people are doing content. Means that they associate themselves. They're telling people outside there, this is me. Okay? So that's why for the past 2 years, 2.5 years, when we talk about this, most people invited me for the mental health issues awareness. And I put on some disclaimers. I'm not a clinical psychologist. That pushed me to have a thought of, considering to go for my master in clinical psychology. But obviously due to time and some constraint. Because previously, I think I rasa selesa, I'm comfortable with what I had back then. People gave me any topic, blah, blah, blah things. Oh, I just deliver kind of thing. Newly, I know that when you are unable to master a certain area, that is your interest, people will always see you as an average person. How do you want people to look at you? If you project yourself to others, let's say fashion, for example, where people will associate you with fashion. I give one name, Sajat. What came across your mind when I mentioned the name Sajat?
Bengkung. I don't know why, but then my head called Bengkung.
So he's a cosmetic punya blah blah things. And a part of it, he came out with a lot of these controversies. Okay. So whether it's a good promotion or bad promotion, is still considered as a promotion. Agree?
Agreed.
So it depends on you. How would you put yourself under the spotlight? But nothing wrong being an average student, when you know that you are actually contribute some things for yourself, for your family, for your surroundings, and that what makes you happy. Okay? Wow, and it says you are pretty. I agree with you, Ande. Okay. That is a form of recognition. When people notice you, that is a form. Okay, funny. Okay, I know about that part. Okay. So these are the things that most people think that aku ni biasa-biasa je. Silap bulan, when people ask, do you know this person? Tak kenal pun. I used to be known as, when I was undergraduate, I used to be known as muka bersepah. Because I'm so damn active in programs, in societies, that kind of thing. I'm not good. I'm not be remembered as a student who excellent in the study. Okay? Like I say, whether it's a good promotion or bad promotion, it's still considered as a promotion. Right? So I think it means that when people can say something about you, notice you, that is a form of recognition. As a human being, sebagai manusia berjalan di muka bumi Allah ni, if you are not receiving any form of recognition, it doesn't do any good. So you are entitled and you are responsible to project yourself to others. Okay? This is what I meant about criticism just now. Okay? But most people always, I've been there, I've done that, having the experience where nobody put some hopes on you, that actually minimize the burden on me. And even, each time when I receive a results, I would brief enough to tell my dad, and he always say this, lagi mana you tak ulang, lagi mana you tak repeat. The repeat part, the repeat word is not meant for the subject. It's meant for the mistake that you've done. But we keep on doing the same mistakes. Okay. So again, I know it sounds a bit cliche when you say that average student. When you plant this kind of statement in your mind and you're projecting it in your behavior, then you become average student. Whereby, are you ready for that one or not? Because we always say that people are commenting me, are criticizing me, without we know that we are the one that allow them to think about who we are. Budak bodoh, budak tak pandai, what else? Are they the one that we need to blame because the way they see us? Is how you bring about yourself. Now, bring to the definitions of personality. Now, every day, every single moment, we have two sides of personality. One is the professional personality, self. One is the professional self, another one is personal self. Okay? So the professional self is the one that you project to people the way you want people to see you. If as a student, I see you as a student. and you will keep your you punya apa kata, you punya personal tu behind. Okay, like the way you look at me now, you look at me as Dr. Zulfikar, but wait till you see Zulu.
Zero.
You know what does it mean? Means that you look at me professionally, I'm like this. But what if I were to say that saya ni seorang pendiam?
I cannot.
That's true. Cannot brain kan? Takkanlah pendiam, pemalu. Okay? So sama juga macam students. In your everyday life. The one that you show to people, your colleagues, sama tak pembawakan diri you dengan mak bapak?
Different.
And being professional means that membawa diri appropriate self to appropriate time and environment. That's what make it difficult masa PDPR when you are stuck at home. You know, shifting from a student to a doctor. Okay. Shifting from a girlfriend to a roommate. You went out for a date, gaduh boyfriend girlfriend, balik you marah your roommate. Is it fair? But this is what happening. Okay. So what does average student mean? Means that on the part of a student, you jadi average saja. But doesn't mean it applies to every walk of your life. But the philosophy of university is to come out to produce pelajar yang cerdik pandai. You know what cerdik pandai mean? No. Okay. Cerdik is a matter of survival. Pandai is most of the time be measured through your academic result. So that's why the university want you to come out to graduate as cerdik pandai. Okay. So you might see yourself as average student, or you are projecting yourself to others that you are average student. Again, the one that is responsible to make you not average, probably above average, is yourself. But if you plant that things in your mind and you label yourself, I'm just an average student, cukup makan je lah, then it's going to be a big problem to you. That's why students say that, or lack of confidence, low self-esteem, blah, blah, blah kind of thing. Are you having a thought of people would actually pick you up and lift you up? Don't wait for it. Okay? So you need to boost yourself. Okay? And when we look into the personality of alpha generation, they are too dependent in boosting up their own morals and esteem. Should we wait for others? No. The moment you have the question, why am I every student? Remember, I talked earlier about the question of why. You start realizing, I need to change. Okay, realize that you need to change. Not to burden yourself or undermining yourself or underestimating yourself. No. Once you have these questions that, kenapa ni aku average saja lah? Don't stop there. Look for answers. If you can't find the answers, okay, make it work. Don't wait for people.
But then, Doctor, sorry for the interrupt. But then, like you mentioned before, insecurity, low self-esteem, and you tak feel confidence, kan? So, like, bila kita persoalkan balik, am I average? Why am I average? It's actually, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's actually sebenarnya we are comparing ourselves to others people, right?
Yep.
So like sekarang ni we're using social media, and I think one of the main issue here is actually using social media, because everybody is showing their happy side. No one is showing their like misery and some sort of that. So we are comparing other people outer side with our inner side.
Okay.
Then how we don't want
Okay,
to
Amira, reality check.
Mm-hmm.
How would you project yourself to others? Most of the time, you're going to project yourself something good, right?
Yeah.
You are not going to show the other side of you. Okay? In social psychology says that we are trying to get the conformity of others in order to make us feel good. You wait for others. That's why when you post a photo, you are expecting people to give you a good, very good comment. Reality check. No. You're gonna have both sides. The one that criticize you, the one that puji you, praise you. Now, talking about this, the word insecurity just now.
Mm-hmm.
I try to relate the first topic just now about academic pressures.
Mm-hmm.
Cases that we oversee during the pandemic itself, the PDPR things, is actually it triggers the level or increase or level of anxiety and depression. Because you don't know what to expect. And you are trying so hard. Okay? And you are pulling yourself too hard. Now, when I mention about your generation is a TikTok generation, you hardly communicate. You had your interactions, but you hardly communicate. Interactions and communications comes together. Okay? So that is why when you talk about these issues, bear in mind, you know where is your stand. You know, when you are not ready to post on something, do not post. Because in Diagnostic Statistical Manual for Mental Disorder, version 5, there are quite numbers of mental illness issues that are caused by technology. Like I say, who would you satisfy? Is it yourself or is it others? Okay. So if you are comparing, I think I've answered these questions, this so-called stigma. If you start competing with others or making others as your benchmark, kalau you punya apa kata your confidence levels, your what do you call that, your resistance self, you punya ni tinggi tak apa. But if you were to compare yourself with someone that is, I don't know, is too far from you, then you akan rasa down. And you are not be able to be assertive to yourself. And another thing is that if you put a gap, if you create a gap between you and your parents, because I noticed one thing, parenting and child psychology is one of my area. Parents are trying to show the perfection side of them towards their kids. And it make it burden for them. Parents should not show that they are perfect to their kids. I told my kids, you know, my eldest is 20. I told her, it's not the result, but it's your efforts that count. If you remain the labels inside your mind, you will not grow. You will not bloom. Instead, you'll be stagnant, stuck there, and you menangis di bucu katil selalu. Okay? So that's why the question of why is so damn important for you to become a better person. But the problem is when you find the answer, when you manage to reach to the answers secara ikhlas, you started to deny that is the answers. That's why people say reality sucks. You know that is the answers for yourself, but you did not consider, you did not accept it as an answer. It can't be true. It can't be true. That's not me. We change in each and every day. Every second we change. It's either we change for a betterment or the other side. Change will always take place. Whether you admit or not that you need to change. And you need to admit what you need to change. There is no point of sticking into your minds that I need to change to be better. But you don't know what to change. You can't just fight something that you just don't know. Understanding and admitting the problems that really happens. Most of the time, let's say for example, I think a lot. I can't sleep at night because I think a lot. Now, if I were to ask you, what are the things that makes you tak boleh tidur malam? Oh, banyak benda lah saya fikirkan. Tell me why. Now, in this sense, I'm provocating. Because most of the time, we waste our time thinking of nothing. And we feel so many things. Kita takut banyak benda, yang mana benda tu tak berasas. You had your efforts for final exam. Then, at the same time, you distrust yourself of having those efforts. Macam mana pula tu? You did not acknowledge yourself, but you are waiting for people to acknowledge you. That is totally unfair for ourselves. Overthinkers. Thank you, Hade, for raising this one word. Overthinkers. You can think about your future. You are meant to think about your future. But consider what is considered as over. Sampai membuatkan you rasa takut. Fear. Because fear is actually a metaphor that change your steps to move forward. Okay. So it's, naturally we are overthinkers. And naturally human beings, we are a selective being. We select things that actually appropriate for us. Because those are the element of survival. Knowing how to use it. It's just like if I were to give you a knife, I can't actually tell you how to use the knife. But you need to experience of using that knife. Whether you want to use that knife, as a utensil for cooking, or you want to use it as a weapon. But if you decide to let someone tell you what to do, then you start with it, hoping that each and every walk of your life, people will tell you what to do. That is just not the way it's supposed to be. At the age of teenagers, late teenagers, and pre-adulthood, have the bravery to come out with a decisions of your own. Because from one decision to another decisions making, you become a better person, or what we call as a maturity. But most people, the youngsters, they are not properly guided, that cause them to have fear to make a decision. Okay, because maturity does not come with age, but comes with a experiences. That is why if you fail, it's not about crying over a spilled milk of that failure. It's about how you stand back, fight back, show to people, because the sweetest revenge in life is resolve. But most people, they don't show, they just talk, they defend themselves. When you are doing this thing, you are getting tired, you are getting fatigued, you are getting exhausted, because you keep on telling people, but you are not showing to them. Prove to them. And effort do matters. If people are not acknowledging your efforts, let yourself acknowledge it. Okay?
Doctor, sorry for interrupting again, but then like for now we are only like focusing on like as a student, but then like what if like as a sibling, one of the sibling, so like I always selalu dengar macam like ayat kanak-kanak ni membesar, growing their phases. Tapi what about parents? I mean like parents pun ada these phases yang they also grow with their child kan, with their children. And then as a each apa orang cakap adik-beradik, we also like kalau anak sulung, you have to be the one who guide your sister and brother, show example. But then like what about if you're the middle one, and then what if you're the youngest one, you compare, tak perasan lama-lama you can compare with each other. So how you nak daripada sisi tu?
Can you control the situation?
Hmm.
The basic rule is dalam kehidupan, do not try to control things beyond your control. But obviously you can control yourself. Can you control your parents from making comparison? Can you stop the rain because you want to go out for a movie?
No.
When you started to think, to control things that beyond your control, prepare for frustration. Okay? If you started to feel burdens about this kind of situations, pull yourself out from this misery. For me, I went through all these kind of situations before, comparing, blah, blah, blah kind of things. It's how you face it. It's a challenge in life. That is why being an average student, being an average person, sebenarnya you tak rasa burden pun. Less expected on you. Okay? Because you just can't control people. You can't shut themselves. You can't shut them. That's why I say the sweetest revenge is through results. But again, it depends on you. If you accept criticism ni ada dua dia punya efek. Satu membunuh atau kedua membina. You decide. Okay? Because again, at the end of the day, you don't have anyone except for yourself. But if you're in hope that people understand you, then frustration, prepare for the frustration. So that is why I'm not a positive thinker, obviously not negative thinker. I'm a realistic thinker. If I can't do things by any means, I admit. And what's wrong with admitting that you can't? But if I know that I can do those things, I can perform it with a very high standard and in an excellent way, I'm going to deliver it. You know. So at the end of the day, it depends on how people recognize you. If you hope for recognitions, then be very careful. You might do things tanpa keikhlasan. In life, it's about satisfactions, what you do. Kalau you dapat B+ on the subject, yang mana subject tu memang confirm gila you akan fail, would you be proud of yourself?
Yes.
Obviously. When people least expect that you can score that subject, and then you score. Do you feel satisfied with yourself? Obviously. And this is what we are showing to people. Tapi yang menjadi masalahnya, we did not show them the result, but we defend ourselves with words. Word hurts. Okay? Word hurts. If you need to complain, don't complain to humans. Complain to God, regardless of any of your religion. I had this one client way back. I think when I was in my second year of UTM code. My second year of service in UTM, or first year, during the first year, I can't remember. There was this Chinese boy. Okay? He had these depressions. He been burdened with all this expectation. Sorry to say, but our fellow Chinese, you know, this happens quite rampant in your life, you know, from your parents. In a simple, I asked him, when was the last time you talked to your God? He was like, huh? Yeah, when was the last time you talked to your God? Oh, I do pray. He said he was a Christian. He was Christian. Okay. Do you make it as a practice every day? Like how? See, yeah, before you went to sleep. And then try do it a couple of times and come back to me. I think about a week or two after that, he came to me. Thank you, sir. Say why? Because I do feel some relief when I talk to God before I went to sleep. Rugi seorang anak Adam apabila tidur malam hari tanpa memikirkan apa yang dilakukan pada hari itu. Dan amat rugi apabila seorang anak Adam lahir keesokan harinya membawa dosa-dosa semalam. Means that bangun tidur, alamak assignment aku tak buat semalam, tak nak fikir pula. Sebelum tidur tak nak fikir pula, assignment tak siap lagi apa tak tahu. Besok bangun-bangun pagi, the first thing that strike your mind, Allah, my assignment. Bangun-bangun pagi, alamak semalam aku gaduh dengan dia ni, konflik dengan dia ni, hutang dengan dia ni. Bangun-bangun tidur, you started your day with something that is, As for Muslim, okay, we have the script being given to us in our prayers. When God says that when you are being burdened, do not turn to others. Come to me. I'll listen. I'll provide you with answers. And you will always be tested. And within those tests, there's a hikmah. And nobody can answer that hikmah except for yourself. Because hikmah will come to you when you look for it. So again, you decide. Is it okay being an average student? Or the otherwise? No one can answer you except for yourself. The same goes to, I saw this one word from Nurul Izzah. Of course, on the earth that can understand ourselves. Yes, nobody can understand you. Even your mom that brought you, that delivered you. And quite sometimes we do have difficulties in understanding ourselves. And how are you so sure that and how you are so frustrated when someone says that I don't understand you. Sebab kita pun alami masalah memahami diri sendiri. That's why life journey is about looking for ourselves. And one day you reach a point that you say that Alhamdulillah, praise to Allah, I managed to find myself and I have experience to share with others for them to be a better person. Like I say, if it's not meant for you to be a better person for others, at least you be the best versions of yourself. That's the most. Wallahu alam.
But then doctor, like, apa yang I dapat daripada doktor punya conclusion kan, like am I rich ni is actually what yang kita nak put to ourselves, macam expectation ke apa ke, it's all started with us, even though like kita being pressured by our surrounding and stuff. So like recently I've read this one book, and I ada this one ayat. It tells me that if you begin to believe what others says about you, they will begin to control you. Not everything that appears in your mind is true. Do not let someone else's opinion rule your life.
Yeah, agree. Okay. Remember, I've told you just now, the enemy of mind is your emotion.
Yes.
And the best friend of your mind is your emotion too. Now, you are what you think you are. Agree? If you decide to think that you are this kind of person, you become that person. Okay? In RBT, Rational Emotional Behavioral Therapist technique, we always believe that we are being governed by our irrational belief system. Let me ask you, Amira. Do you believe in ghosts?
Yes.
Do you met one?
Not yet.
Oh, not yet.
I hope not.
And what makes you believe?
Because dalam Al-Quran mengatakan dalam kat dunia ni bukan hanya manusia, kita ada jin dan sebagainya.
Okay. Thank you for the very faithful answers. What makes us believe in religion?
For me, my prophet, Al-Quran dan the Sunnah.
Because we have the sources. We've seen, and that's why Allah says that I've created everything. And when He created Adam, He told Adam that I've created everything for you to learn and to. And even and the angels were asking the prophet, why are you creating someone that is lower than us? And Allah says, and Allah replied with I know what you don't know. In the incident of Nabi Khidir, a lot of things. So we need some proof in order for us to believe. And if you let someone tell you how to live your life and how to run your life in which that is not you, so you believe that is you, then what's going to happen to your life?
Being controlled by someone else, being controlled by expectation.
That brought me try to answer the questions from Hamza, maintaining for flat. I had this one students before, a Chinese student back in UTM KL. Third year, going for third year diploma program. Came to me, sir, I got problems. I say, what is the problem? I say, I got academic problem. No, normally, if a student came to me with academic problem, I would ask them their CGPAs. And I asked him, what is your CGPA? You don't believe if I were to tell you. I say, no, man, shoot me. I'm a 4 flat student. So what seems to be the issue? I don't know what I'm studying. Okay? In a simple words, I told him, you are an exam-oriented student. And he looked puzzled. You know what is the meaning of exam-oriented?
Only study for exam?
That's it. Would you find some satisfaction in your study? No. You memorize things. That's why what you learn in this semester, probably in a couple of semesters, probably next semester, you are unable to recall. Not even the lecturer's name. So you are too mechanical and you become robots. Okay? What we are trying to produce is human engineers, not only engineers. That's the philosophy. Then I told that boss, that student of mine, I kata, now start enjoying what you study in class. That's it. The following semester, he came back to me. Sir, I did not manage to maintain my 4 flats. So what do you got for this semester? I got 3.9 something. 3.9 or 3.8. But I'm happy because I know what I'm studying. I know what I've learned. Amira and fellow audiences, in life, you need to find these two things when you are going for a journey. Regardless of any journey. What you learn and what you experience. What you learn is something that everyone goes the same process, the same journey, the same route. But what you experience is exclusively yours. That's what makes it different. By the time you graduate from UTM, you are unable to answer these two things, you are unable to find these two answers, then question that yourself. What have you done 4 years in UTM? Only to earn a scroll, that's it? Just to be proud of that 4 flats, that's it? That's why during convocation, you can see students who are excellent, dapat anugerah chancellors, dapat anugerah ni. Look at their background. They are performing well in their study. At the same time, they are performing well in their society, apa nama dia punya life ini. That is what we call balance. Not everyone can achieve it. That's why being a student is not about cafe, classes, library, bilik. And then you pusing lah itu. And it's not about rebelling. It's not about regretting. No. The moment you ada sekelumit rasa regret dalam diri, menyesal, it haunts you the rest of your life. Learn to let things go. Ramai orang cuba melupakan. That is not the way. The moment you try to forget things, the more it comes to you. But the more you learn to accept, then you immerse yourself with that experiences, you become a better person. And that average turn to excellent. You decide to be or not to be. That's the question. Wallahu a'lam bishawab.
So, Doctor, if I may add, such as like such example lah, Hamzah. He stated that maintaining 4 flat. Okay, if I put in situation, if saya yang dulu, I might questioning like, oh, 4 flat. Oh, he's facing problem with 4 flat. Or like any of my friend like, oh, he's having problem with, getting dean list. These high pointers lah. But then I compare to myself. And then as I grow up, not like grow up, I mean like as I try to be like more understandable person, is that kita hidup ni, every person, we have our own problems. So like for me, I'm satisfied with my GPA. But some others, they are like, oh no, I need to get for flat, or I need to get 3.9. So like I hope that our audience doesn't question like every other people punya, your own expectation.
Mira, fact of life. Let me give you another facts of life. Manusia, sesuatu yang ada dalam genggaman dia, dia akan senantiasa bertanya, dia akan senantiasa bertanya. Sebab apa? Sebab pada ketika ini, apa yang you ada, Allah nak uji you dengan kesyukuran. Dan kita seringkali risau dengan benda yang kita tak ada. Walaupun ianya kesenangan atau kesusahan, ianya tetap satu ujian. Okay? Istidraj, right? In terms of dalam Islam. Because why? Because when you started to formalize everything, you no longer find fun in it. Tapi dalam apa yang kita buat, kita cari keseronokan. Let's say for example, playing video games, e-games, supposed to be seronok, right? Tapi kalau kata tiba-tiba Fabu dia wajibkan student ambil subjek e-sport, it no longer become fun because it become too structured. Sama juga macam belajar, sama juga macam baca buku, sama juga macam tidur. Hamzah cakap pasal tidur ni kan. When you were kids, when you were at the age of 4, 5, your parents ask you to sleep, tak nak tidur. Tapi sekarang tak suruh tidur, you nak tidur. Okay? Sekarang tak suruh you cari duit, you nak cari duit. Bila nanti you dah bekerja, cari duit tak nak pula. Nak berehat lah pula. You see, that is human. Okay? That's why saya kata tadi about prioritizing. If getting 4 flat, maintaining 4 flat is your priority, that means that you are willing to accept the facts that you are going through the process of maintaining it. Apa saja kita buat, kena ada elemen keseronokan. Even in ibadah pun. Okay? Even in ibadah pun, you need to know when to take a break. Dalam solat, kita ada tamak ninah. Berhenti seketika. Daripada satu rukun pada satu rukun. Kalau puasa, ada break. Bila? Waktu berbuka. Nikmat bagi mereka yang berpuasa adalah apabila tiba waktu berbuka. Kalau mengaji, ada tanda wukuf, tanda wakaf, tanda berhenti. Kalau pergi haji, ada waktu rehat. Wukuf di Arafah. Tak habis, tak buat tu, tak sah haji. Then what makes you so, so hebat, kalau you tak learn to take a break. Sebab dunia ni, dia umpama bayang-bayang. Lagi you kejar, lagi dia jauh. Lagi you kejar, lagi dia jauh. Do not let your mind deceive you. Take things one at a time. Jangan tamak sebagai manusia. Semua you nak ni. Sudahnya, dia akan hit you. And when it hits you the most. Sampaikan you nak bangkit pun susah.
Alright, Doctor. This actually ended our second slide. So I would like to thank you, Dr. Zulfikar. That was a really great and wonderful sharing from you as someone who is also experienced and also questioning myself with thoughts like, am I average and I'm not good enough in certain things that I done. This slide is really helpful to me, and I hope by listening to Dr. Zulfikar sharing just now, it can open our minds, eyes, and that we are not average, and it's okay to be average. So Dr. Zulfikar, why not we take some pictures for keeping the memories?
Yeah, sure. One for the record.
Yes. So dear AJK, please open up your camera. Okay.
Make sure Share with me.
All right, Doctor, no problem. Okay, so we take a formal one. Okay, everybody smile. One, two, three. Okay, another one. Now it's freestyle. Another one. Okay, one, two, three. One, two, three. All right. Thank you so much, Doctor.
Thank you so much, and thank you to the audiences. I pray the best for you guys. We don't know what's meant the best, tapi if it's best for you, do not apa nama, jangan terlalu fikirlah bagi orang. If it's best for you, it's best for you. If it's not meant for you, learn to accept that not everything are meant for us. Allah Alam. Okay, I'm very sorry kalau kata ada, a glitch here and there, my words, everything, and I just wanted to see you guys after 3-4 years. You'll be on the stage having those scrolls, and let not the journey stops there, because the world is out there. The sky is your limits. Do what you think best, that put your life in a very proper track. Wallahu alam sawab. Thank you so much to the organizers. I have another session actually at 11:30, with a group of students and the achievers. So I'm really happy to be with you guys, be with students, and enjoy your life as a student. Wallahu alam.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you so much, Doctor. So thank you, Doctor. Once again, on behalf of everyone here today, thank you, Dr. Zulfikar, Ahmad, for taking time for your busy schedule to be the guest speaker at our webinar. So, okay, I know that everybody is excited. So because our next session is actually our quiz slot. So okay, after listening to the sharing session, let's see how much. Yes, this is the proceed,
Okay, thank
Doctor.
you so much. I need some
Thank you,
permission.
Doctor.
Okay,
Oh,
I see
it's
you around, guys. See you around.
um,
Assalamualaikum. And
hello,
enjoy your day.
Doctor.
Wallahu alam. Assalamualaikum.
Right. Okay, we proceed. Okay, after listening to the sharing session, let's see how much our audience remember what has Dr. Zulfikar shared just now. So to play this quiz, you may click the link provided. It will be provided in the pinned comment, or you can just type quiz in Google or Safari and enter the game code, which is 927970. So you can click it and enter the quizzes. Don't worry, guys. There's prizes for this, not just for the first place. There's first, second, and third. So try your best. Let's see. So while waiting for you guys, I hope that sedikit sebanyak it helps you guys. And I'm sorry if I tak perasan most of you guys punya question. So now we're waiting for our participant to, our audiences, I'm sorry, our audiences to enter our quizzes. Alright, I already seen a few names. Okay, we shall wait another few minutes for you guys. Hurry up, try your best, okay? There's 5 question for academic pressure and another 5 question for am I average? Oh, it's just easy. Just try your best, okay, guys? Easy question. Okay, I've seen names Mira. Langsat Gam ke? You put that as your nickname? Okay, it's okay. Okay. Shall we wait until like 50 something? Keep going, guys. Keep going. Hi, Elwin. Also, guys, don't forget to subscribe to QS-Bina UTM YouTube, and also don't forget to like this program today. Okay, share and subscribe. Love. Okay, right now we're having 47. Okay. Are they still coming in? Are they still coming in? The participant? Okay, we wait another 1 minute and then we'll start, okay? In 1 minute, guys. 1 minute. Okay, a few seconds left. Come on. Just trying to enter our quiz is. Hurry up, join us. Yep, hurry up. There's prizes waiting for you guys. Alright. So now it's 11:15. So shall we start? Okay. 3, 2, 1. Okay, what is the effect of academic pressure to students? First one, loss of interest, obsession with grades, extreme competitiveness, all of the above. It is still half of you guys didn't answer yet. Go. You don't have much to think because it's only 20 seconds, okay? To remind you guys. See why? The first one. Next question. From the option below, which are the symptoms of academic pressure? Trouble of sleeping, love to go to school or class, changes in appetite. What is the answer? Let's see. Time's up. Oh, now this different guy, different people are in the first place. Next, the third question. As a student, what can you do to help yourself from academic pressure? Manage time well. What's the other options? Scroll down. Sleep all day. Make to-do lists. Play all time. Right. It's quick, guys. So you have like only 20 seconds. It's a quick one. Okay. Next question, the fourth question. Academic pressure is defined as. This is too long for me to read, but I know you guys can read it by yourself. So which one is it? Which one defined as academic pressure? Is it still the same? Oh, it's changing again. It's changing. Next, the fifth question, which is the last question for academic pressure. Good luck, guys. What causes academic pressure? Social demands, family expectation, ambitious goals set by students. This is, I think, few times Dr. Zulfikar has mentioned. This is the answer. Right. Time's up. Okay, now. Oh, it's changing again. Next question. This is the first question for MI average slot. What causes you to feel that you are not enough? Support from friends, pressure by surrounding, low self-esteem, all of the above. Time's up. Is the changing again? Oh. This is the seventh question. I should study like Lisa. She's the top scorer, said Najiha to herself. What is your advice to Najiha? Yes, you should do it by now. No, follow your own pace. So which one is it? Time's up. Okay. It's going to the end, so okay, try your best to answer the question, okay? What will someone with MI average thinking will say to him or herself? Is it all my fault that I failed? Am I not good enough? I am the best in the class. I think this question, the answer for this question is a bit obvious. Okay, two lads, 9 and 10. So next, what should you do to help yourself from this mindset? Recall past achievement that I get. Always focus on the result. Stop comparing myself with other people. Time's up. Okay, this one is the last question, so I hope you guys try your best. Try your best. Yes, try your best to win the prize. Don't believe everything you think. Is it true? Don't believe everything you think. True or false? True or false? Time's up. Okay, let's shall see who is our winner. Third place, Shahira. Second place, Hadif. And the first place is Mar. Oh, congratulations to you guys. Congratulations. Ooh. Okay. So, congratulations to all the winners. Don't worry. Our committee members will contact you guys to claim the prizes. Alhamdulillah, with the end of the quiz session just now, we wrap up to this program. I hope that the audience who attend to this program derive a wide range of advantage from it. Dear students, do not hesitate to contact our UTM Counseling Center if you need any help. You may visit UTM Counseling Center website as UTM Counseling Center JB provide online psychological support service such as guidance and counseling sessions, consultation and mental health screening tests. As the moderator of the mental health talk, it is a big deal. I would like to apologize from the bottom of my heart if there are any wrongdoings during this program. Right now, okay, we'll be displaying to you guys the QR code. But then I'm sure that my committee members already give you guys the link for attendance. So we're waiting for the QR code to pop out so you guys can scan. Okay, for your obvious, this one is on the left side is the UTM Counseling Center, which is directly will give you guys directly to the website, and on the right side, the QR code is for QS-Bina Instagram. Do follow us for any updates for our future program. Okay. Okay, here is the QR code for attendance. So thank you so much for joining us for today. I hope that to see you guys at our future program. Just remember, you are not alone. You don't have to struggle in silence. You are loved. Take care, stay safe, and have a nice day, everyone. Thank you. Assalamualaikum and bye. Bye, everybody.